I could barely relate. I see your Instagram, you been taking flights. Now you fucking with the nigga that's spending your likes. Now you giving chances to these niggas riding bikes. Thinking that you really doing something for your life, girl. We been here for fights with your mom, fights on the lawn, fights in the car, fights with the cops, fights with your pops. Picture this, me and you, minus them, that's a crop. I remember me and you in the whip, trying to cop, hit the streets in my little beach, finally hit the beach, pack a piece, keep the windows up, we can't even breathe. Used to love that you love to smoke. You was like a pro, put that on a roll. We was on a roll, I ain't never planned to let you go. Nah, then I had to let you go, addicted to that alcohol. Wonder why you never call, wonder why you never call. Wonder if it's for the best, wonder if you were the best.
Setting execution. God damn.
So everybody, it's Amonra here. Welcome back to some more of my working YouTubers. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today is Sunday. About a weekend so far from what I see. Check what time it is though. It's 1:47. In today's video, obviously as I've done before with every other one, it's going to be the same entire case. Working for YouTubers today. I'm going to start it off. Again, like I said, I hope you guys are having a great day. Enjoy the video. The first YouTuber I want to talk about is Daquan. Daquan, most of you guys might know as the hood dude with a do-rag who does reviews on different things, talks about his life story times and stuff, has a funny attitude, be speaking the real. I just love how he's like, and I like how he represents himself. Got me inspiration kind of a little bit to get waves, so I kind of appreciate him for that. I like his profile picture. I fuck with the stuff he talks about. How he was talking about how nobody can beat Goku was pretty funny, because obviously this character to beat Goku, but just purely on the form for how he talks about it. I just love how he talked about it, because it really was the hood dude. Like, I don't know why, because back-to-back thing, it really is funny in this case, how this man represented himself in the point of being a hood dude, because I don't want to just paste that as who he is, because no, I'm just saying that's a matter for his funny persona. It's a lot more than that, and just because he might be from the hoods and grew up within the streets, don't correlate him just to be a hood dude that does that only in that case of the man. I'm just saying, really formulated the entire feel of being a hood dude that goes out his way thinking Goku is the strongest ever in the most climactic and dramatic form possible in the case of thinking this and this and this, you know what I'm saying? But also do understand that when it comes down to how he does his story times, it's in that persona of him being a hood dude, speaking facts, and like, whatever the case may be. And I fuck with it only because kids are being funny, but I truly do like his content and like a lot of different things they talks about. He's overarchingly funny. Think he's cool. I would love it on me if I could, and that goes for generally case of business for all different YouTubers that I'm gonna be talking about, obviously. But at the same time, I just really do mess with how he does stuff and how he will do things later on in the future, involving probably some other stuff that might happen, because his personality is just ludicrously funny to me. Anyway, going on to the next YouTuber though. The YouTuber is Void. Void the YouTuber with a bopper song with a suave, cool shotty on it. You about to make me act up like a sucker. I'm gonna stop. But on the road, most of y'all might know Void is the person that be racking up diss tracks, the person that mortified Bryce Hall, the person that brought out devastation, no compensation, this obliteration, the person who don't even discriminate on nobody, he obliterate. When he wants to make a diss track on you, it's gonna be desecration. Straight up, straight rhymes, straight balls, straight packing bombs. This nigga be running it with everybody. I could play the songs right now, but I don't want to get copyright, and most importantly, you can just go watch it for yourself. I'm not trying to claim his music, even though one of my favorite songs is the one they just popped out recently. As later on, I'm gonna go ahead and play within the intro, but I would like to go ahead and play it because that shit is bopper. But most importantly, this Void has cool music, like his personality, come from how he represents himself, and that's pretty much it when it comes down to him overall. His shit is just cold. I like how much fire he puts into these diss tracks, because he don't give a fuck. He'll just mortify you. He'll decimate you immediately. It do not matter about the stakes. It's just running, no care at all. Just devastation. I also understand that in some cases the people they diss track, they deserve to be diss tracked, like Rice Gum talking shit to KSI about his girl. I'm gonna get on that nigga eventually. And then Jake Paul being a twat in a bunch of other cases of people arguably deserving to be diss tracked, and then when he just plats out his own fire, it actually be cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, it be boppy, make banger music. Excuse me, I stuck in my throat. Pause. It's not just him making parodies and not recoil anything that actually is credit music. And even if you do parody songs, like say Zers, you can still have cold music, because Zers is actually a music artist. I fuck with how he does. So I don't know if he's like a mainline music artist, but he has great cases of song and voice potential to be put in the works of making music. And Void just got that co-efficiency, in case of matter for how he does things within his music. And I like how he does it. I really do fuck with it, like I said before. So overall, when it comes down to Void, he's cool. Let me go ahead and play this song for y'all real quick.
Savages like I'm Rudy. Got like you bitches can't fit in the 2-seat. Throw me a Glock and I'm doing the 2-seat. Pussy, bitch, this the click. I like all my wrists slick. I like all my bitches thick. I hit their up with a lid. Okay.
That shit is banging. Now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Pimpin', aka Seththeprogrammar, aka Seth. A great power scaler, a big power scaler, a DBZ, and a bunch of different stuff. One of the best debaters, versus battles, a cool, intricate video, man. I don't know if he's actually a programmer, but he's pretty cool, and I fuck with his content all around, like I said. But overall, if we're talking about within the case for how Seth is like, besides just his third, or probably sure second channel, because he has his first channel, his mainline channel, Seththeprogrammar, obviously. We've been pimping about debate sides of some American stuff, news channel about his personal stuff, possibly. And then Seth is like stream highlights and shit, I'm pretty sure. I'm getting a little bit kind of tired, but at the same time, there's a lot more I'm going to talk about Seth than obviously that within that case. But obviously, again, I want to go show you guys that song. That's on Bappa. Please, I hope that Void or YouTube does not copyright strike this video because of that, or copyright claim it at the same time. Because it's a little similar to the song. I'm going to play it entirely, you know what I'm saying? But either way, though, fuck with Void, Quam, we're going to Seth. Seth has given me inspiration, multiple in case that matter, for power scaling, calculating different things, calculating characters, and how things work, and the format for it. I love the information, like it talks about the characters, especially giving up a bunch of different ranks and power levels of some different case characters as well. And all around, I like how he makes his videos and puts them together and all that. I really fuck with how they're made and produced, and how, I guess, quote unquote, programs them to the extent. But as well, what other stuff about Seth that I like, no, I kind of don't like. There's nothing I don't like about Seth. Some cases of his energy, I don't necessarily agree with at some points, but I understand that he tries to be straight up about it and doesn't want to be flacking with the bullshit, and he's just with it right on in position. You know what I'm saying? But as well, to talk about that in bigger haps, the main cases for where Seth does do this is arguably in cases where he does not need it. But his energy overall, no, I fuck with it. I like it. I kind of try to have his state of intelligence and place of understanding about stuff. And as well, other things about him involving personal stuff, the allegations if he's a creeper or a pedo, he's debunked them. There's multiple things that desert these allegations, so I would not say he's a pedo, especially everything that has been proven. And I would hope to God that he's not, because I really do look up to him, kind of, and I fuck with his stuff. He gave me inspiration, but again, he's not a high peak state man for inspiration as well. And Void obviously doesn't give me inspiration. I really mess with his content, and I like how his stuff is put together, but I don't rap. I can spell a little piece of a ball here and there, but I'm not a rapper. You know what I'm saying? He does rap. He got coldness. I don't. And that wasn't never my intent. I'm never going to be dropping music like I'm KSI. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not necessarily my case of doing, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather make gameplay videos and a bunch of this other different stuff that comes into place with what I'm doing now, because that was never my intent. It's not going to be, and I don't want that to be the main format for what I'm doing as a whole, though. And you guys obviously get that. With that being said, I try to make different things in different forms, and so me doing that is not what I'm trying to do in the long run, you know? But as well, within how he does his stuff, I fuck with it. It's upset about him being mean or whatever. I don't agree with that. I fuck with his debunks and actually prove people wrong, making things clear. I mess up a little bit of his debunks, a little bit of the debunk debate wars they have with Kuro the artist. I'm not gonna talk too much on that because I'll talk more about that when I talk about Kuro. Kuro is actually one of the first YouTubers I was actually gonna talk on, involving some other stuff. Goddamn, Connor Finley out here dodging bullets. What to get to him, do not play. But the main thing I want to say is that I understand his point. I also understand Kuro's point, trying to have a friendly debate. But the only problem with Kuro, and the only similar problem with Seth, is Kuro does not understand a lot of great value information on both sides and how they contend, because he doesn't debate. He does not power scale. He does not do none of that shit. Even to this day, even after doing that and talking about it, he does not do that, which is not a bad thing. He's not a power scaler. He's an animator with his own base series and does different breakdowns and do different video and specific type of things. That is not his entire ordeal or plan to do things in that case. But what I mean in depthly with Seththeprogrammar, on the other hand, is that with Seththeprogrammar, he comes at Kuro in a very passive aggressive way and takes it as, oh, if he spreads an opinion point, he's in the wrong and he's bad. He did the same thing with Variant Comics when he talked about how this person from Variant, the host, I forgot his name. I fuck with Variant Comics too. I'll talk about them. I really looked up to them when I was a kid, and I still kind of do, at least on like talking about characters part. But I'll get to that when that happens. I'm going to talk about some bigger stuff when I get to them, because obviously I don't want to go on a tangent. I want to keep these videos short and mid, because I'm just talking about 4 YouTubers, and unless they're YouTubers that really have a thing to talk about, then that's different. But with Seththeprogrammar, he comes very passive aggressive and does not understand that his intent was not to say that. He says that as to recipient views, because the videos that he named them, the videos are called Why Ben 10 will be almost any character, and in the thumbnail, the 2 main cases of characters that a lot of people say are high-ranked characters in versus battles, and in fiction, you have Goku and Superman. They're obviously not the 2 most strongest characters in fiction, but from a base, mid, high, decent level, they are 2 characters that hold a great point and balance that matter for the places of other characters as well, because Goku and Superman are powerful. Yeah, they're not more powerful than a bunch of people. Yeah, they have beaten. No, Superman is not limitless. I already debunked this shit. Multiple niggas has done this in their own videos. So if you want to go watch that, cool, do that. And Goku is not immeasurable in power. We get this. Like, this goes hand in hand. No one's saying, I'm just saying, blatantly, they're not the 2 most strongest. But he just gave evaluation for why Ben 10 could be a lot of characters, going from alien characters, because he can scan them. He has his own aliens, other characters, hyper K abilities, all place of feats, other shit along that. He has made other videos, power scaling, calculating other characters. Pretty simple, right? But at the same time, I do understand he has misinformation. How he classifies his video and gives that off would beggar people to see Ben 10 do this, when Ben 10 is a very powerful character, but doesn't necessarily override a bunch of other characters. So all the points that he's made at that video, to this day, still hold measurement, as I'm not going to just sporulate what he said, and at the same time say a matter for what he talked about involving Alien X, other characters, hold a great range case of measurement as well, within this case, in comparison to the characters. But at the same time, it doesn't take away the fact that with Ben 10 fighting other characters, even at that point in that video, at this time, to this day as well, to rescind my statement, hold a great pinnacle to say the matter for Ben 10's power, and he all has points, and his reasoning for doing it is right, and Seth is only a little bit of similar to bad, which I feel like is why he deleted those videos, because the beef was done. It wasn't even truly beef, it was just disagreement that roused out to battle videos, and it's the most childish shit. Like, I'm not saying that they're both in the wrong for making these videos or defending their case, which then they ended up debating, which actually, matter of fact, just to go ahead and prove my point that it's a small debate that ended on a peaceful place, because they don't talk about each other anymore, and none of the points that when it comes down to both of these characters have ended up bad. Plus, check the Cybercuck, and then you have Just a Robot even collab with him talking about power streams of characters and where those characters would be, like which aliens of Ben 10 are metahuman. multi-universal, multiversal, outerversal. I don't think Alien X is outerversal, and Alien X is not omnipotent, or none of that. That's the thing that Kuro got wrong, because Alien X is not omnipotent. If Alien X was omnipotent, he wouldn't have to straw back to rules. And even let's say if he was omnipotent, if any character in fiction is omnipotent, that is only in proclaim to their verse. If I say a character in DC Comics may be omnipotent to a place and point in the correlation of power control in DC, that is only in DC. They're not going to be omnipotent in other verses, because other verses have their restrictions, their hacks, and containers to how things put into place of power consumption. Because, I'll make another example. Again, with DC, whoever you want to say is the most powerful, let's say the one above all. If he is supposed to be omnipotent in that verse, which I'm pretty sure he's not, but let's say he is, for my example, he is only omnipotent to the constraints that imperialize the DC universe. If he's omnipotent to all recommendated same matter place of the universe, he bops Superman going to Lobo. That is only in DC Comics. If he rolls to Marvel, a nigga who can be omnipotent in that verse beats him. Other verses hold constraint, and even if it's middle ground, you're not saying he solos this verse or he comes to this, they only abide by that rule in that verse. They cannot control what goes on in another verse. If Alien X, let's say again with example, was omnipotent and he went over to the Dragon Ball verse, and you say Alien X solos Dragon Ball, all of Dragon Ball, from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Super, including Dragon Ball GT, everything. There's niggas in that verse, they're able to best Alien X. Alien X, in comparison to Dragon Ball, is high peak. That does not mean he beats Zeno, the Grand Priest, some of the angels. Neither does that mean Zeno Goku. He does not beat everybody. There's big high arguments that even Goku alone could beat Alien X depending on the scenario, which I believe that. I believe Alien X definitely can overshadow Goku, because Alien X is fucking retarded with capabilities. My point being is that just because a character can be powerful in one constraint does not mean it overpass another. So when you say that, that's the only problem that is put into place with that point being made. That's the only reason. I'm not saying that's entirely what he said. All I'm saying is that the point that he made, that he's omnipotent and can basically do whatever he wants, I'm pretty sure, is exactly what he said, but not entirely saying that just because he has that power, that means he overrides everybody. But in that point, it's saying that's just not true. He's not omnipotent. He has strawbacks. And him having a power that controls omniverse / and multi in comparison does not work in that form as well. Again, I don't want to go on a tangent with this because I'm trying to focus on Seththeprogrammar, but I'll say this blatantly. Again, to reiterate, if Alien X, because I'm talking a lot, I might need some water, even though I'm paraphrasing and parsing with what I'm trying to say. Parsing, did I say parsing? Parsing? Parsing is like correlating. That's like pursing, as like actual purse pouch. Because it works in both said matter, but still, I'm able to fabricate and articulate all my main places and points blatantly to you guys. Alien X has limitations in his verse. Even if he would be omnipotent, that only constricts in his verse, and Alien X at full highball is only multiverse plus. You have to make big arguments to say he's outerversal. Alien X and his entire race only have constraints to their verse, not singular, but in their verse as cases, because they go to multi-universes to multiverse. Alien X, just because he has been accounted to be able to reshape an omniverse, does not mean he's actually omniversal, because in the accounts, a multiverse and an omniverse to human computation can only be concerted as both of those at the same time. Because the omniverse can be assumed as, you know, an actual omniverse that's exceeding in plantation of power, right? And a multiverse could be the same thing, because us humans do not understand that stuff, and some writers depict both as the same place. In some cases, not different, but from what we know, Alien X has been shown to only do that. So if we're going by consistent feats, he does not do that. And just because he's in a watch that's called the Omnitrix in the Omniverse, or whatever, or even a show, does not mean he's omnipotent or omniverse. He's not omniversal. That's not how that works. You really have to prove me to actually show that is actually the case in that case. Which kind of sounded weird how to backtrack. I'm talking, let me just breathe. You really have to go and prove to me that that is actually profoundly the case, because that shit don't make sense at all. Because again, Seth has already debunked that stuff. In the same place and matter of case for how I'm feeling and what I said goes hand in hand, and it's never been disparalyzed or depuffed from the case of the fact that Alien X is very powerful, but just that blatantly is not the point of his power or how his power works and any constraint. Moving on though, that's the only problem with Kuro. Misinformation and bad value in debating. He didn't understand how necessarily debating or big case of power scaling works, and he doesn't need to. Because most people that talk about characters' powers do not go to power scaling. The same thing with King Kong 19100. I'm going to get on him eventually. I got some words to say about this man. I do not hate him, but it's something I really want to get off my chest. And I swear, I hope that he sees that shit when the time comes. But the point being is that that's the only problem. Seth is only being passive because of not understanding that. Because he wants to just school this man and make it clear that you're fucking wrong. And that's just blatantly not true. But they had a debate. They talked. Simple. Those are the only points in mind that I have involving Seth. Overall, I like how he does stuff. I like how his personality is like. I fuck with his energy. I care for a lot of stuff that's going on. With a bunch of stuff that goes with his videos. Other cases of stuff. I think he's funny. Here's that, man. I like him and Chuck. They're pretty cool. Two gay brothers. And pretty much it. Moving on, though, to the next YouTuber. To go ahead and look them up real quick. Because that's 3, obviously. That's 4, Rick and Void. Because that was at first. Because we talked about Daquan. We obviously talked about Void and Pimpin'. Yeah. So, in full, that's obviously 3. I feel like I miscounted on it exactly. But yep, hold up. But that's it for them. Last person is GS Raider. I don't have much to say about GS Raider. Same thing with OG Pure. GS Raider is cool. I fuck with his energy. I fuck with the last video that he represented, showcasing toxicity. I don't think he's bad. I do have one thing to say in defense of GS Raider. If you get mad at him for throwing, and you defend someone like FTK Computer, which he doesn't entirely throw. I'm going to talk about FTK Computer because I respected him, and I'm a long General Wave fan of his. But FTK Computer considerably throws his games for content because he just feels like it in comp. GS Raider throws these games for content and against people who arguably deserve it because the people he throws his games for are entitled, narcissistic, and dumbass niggas who keep trying to play out the game as this and this and this like they really something when they're not. FTK Computer, when he throws, it's because he feels like it. Because people tell him to switch, he feels like he's with this character, and he either loses the game because he just doesn't give a fuck, or pure fact, FTK Computer does not care about comp. He's making content of comp because these people in comp take comp as their religion. They both have arguable cons and pros to why they do what they do. But if you watch FTK Computer and you watch other people do the exact same shit, you have no right to talk about GS Raider. Just blatantly. And overall, that's pretty much it. That's the end of this video, guys. Obviously, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I need to go ahead and drink some more. I'm going to get some food, too. I'm getting hungry. Last thing I'm going to say, again, I love all these YouTubers. We're going to talk about them and all that and everything. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out, my army. Love y'all.